Hello students. So student, in the previous class in this chapter, that is body movement, we were talking about the muscle contraction. So we have seen that how muscle contraction occur in the body. So you see students, when we talk about the muscle contraction, basically what happened in bones are attached to that of the muscle with the help of a very strong fiber that is known as tendon. Now the muscle, the upper muscle which is attached to that of the bone, when it contract, because the muscles they used to pull each other. So when the muscle it contract, it make the bone to pull over the another one. Okay, and now the muscles can pull only itself, it can contract only, so we can say that the another muscle which is attached to that of the bone, then it will contract and making the first bone to regain its position and help the bone also to regain its position. So basically what happened, the one of the muscle contract. At that time, the another muscle which is attached to the bone, it used to stretch itself. Okay, it is in the relaxed state. And when the another muscle contract, at that time, the first muscle which is attached to the bone, it relaxed. Okay, it stretched itself. So it is due to the alternate contraction and relaxation of the muscles occur, help the movement in the human being. So how we can say the movement occur? It occur because of the contraction and relaxation. Here student, when we in the last class, we were talking about the bending of the arm and straightening of the arm. So if we talk about the bending of the arm, bending and straightening, bending and straightening of the arm. So in case of a bending and straightening, we have seen when the bending occur, basically what happened, our arm consisting of two type of a muscle. One is bicep and another is tricep. When the bicep muscle, it contract, which is present at the upper portion, you can say, to that of the arm, and when it contract, then what happened, it is the bone, the lower arm, it used to pulled up, and due to which it move in the upward direction, and then it causes the bending. And what happened after that, then the tricep which is present, it was at a relaxed state. When we talk about our biceps are also known as the flexor muscle. Okay. Why it is known as a flexor muscle, student? It is because it helps or it flexes the arm. So when the biceps contract, it make the lower arm to move up because it contract. And at that time, the other muscle, that is tricep muscle, it used to relax. Okay, so when one muscle contract, the other muscle relax. And biceps are also called as flexor muscle. Flexor, because it flexes the arm. Now, as it helps in the flexing or flexes the arm, that is why it is known as the flexor muscle. Now we will talk about the another condition. So we have discussed right now that when the bicep contract, it make the lower arm to move up. What happened when the tricep contract? At this stage, the tricep, it used to relax, it remains straightened. Okay, now, when the tricep contract, at that time, the biceps, it relaxes and it make the lower arm to move down and help in straightening of the muscles. And because of that, it is known as the extensor muscle. One is known as flexor muscle and tricep is known as a extension muscle. So we can write it, when we want to straighten the arm, when we want to straighten the arm, then the tricep muscles used to contract. The tricep muscles, it contracts. Okay, and the contraction of the tricep muscles, it makes the lower arm, the contraction of the tricep muscle makes the lower arm to move, makes the lower arm, it used to pull it down, and due to which our lower arm moves down. Okay, lower arm moves out straight. As it pulls it down. Now see here student, what we had done. Let me tell you that how the bending and straightening of the arm occur. Here the two kind of a muscle, biceps and triceps, they work together. When the biceps contract, it pulls the lower arm upward, and due to which the lower arm moves upward. Okay, now this is the bending. And at that time the biceps contract, but the tricep, it used to relax. Sorry. Now, when you used to straighten the arm, basically what happened, actually it is the tricep when contract. Now, when the tricep contract, when we used to straighten our arm, at that time the tricep contract and our biceps relax. So basically what happened there, this tricep used to pull the lower arm down and making our lower arm to move straight. Okay, help in straightening the lower arm. And because of that, it is also known as a extension muscles. Okay, so we can also write it. The name extension itself explains that as it help in straightening, as it help in extending the arm, and that is why we can say extension muscles. Okay, so we can write it. Tricep is called extension muscle. Because, or we can write it as it extend the arms. Okay, as it extends the arm. So as it help in extension of the arm, as it help in straightening of the arm, so we can say that is why tricep is also known as the extension muscle. That one, biceps, it flexes, so we can say that it is a flexor muscle, but tricep is known as the extension muscle. So by this we can say, student, that when the bicep muscle contract, at that time the tricep muscle it extend, and when the tricep muscle contract, at that time the bicep muscle extend. And because of this alternate contraction and relaxation of the biceps and triceps, make our arm to move upward and downward, or help our arm to bend or to straighten. Okay, so when we used to bend our arm, at that time what happened? Our biceps contract, our triceps it relax. Okay, when we used to straight our arm, at that time our biceps relax and our triceps contract. Okay, and it happens as the muscles are attached to the bones and making the bone to move upward or downward. Okay, so because of the alternate contraction and relaxation, we are able to bend or to straight our arm. So we can write it that that so we can say that when our biceps contract, then our triceps relax, and when our triceps contracts, biceps relax. And because of this, or because of this alternate contraction and relaxation, contraction and relaxation of biceps and triceps help in movement of arms. Okay, so we have understood here that how the bending and straightening of the arm take place because of the. So basically we have understood, the student, that it is because of the muscle contraction the movement occur in the human being. Okay, bones are attached to the muscles, that is with the help of a strong fiber called tendon. So whenever the question is asked that what do you understand by tendon, you will always write that it is a strong fiber which help in connecting the muscles to that of the bone. What is a ligament? Ligament help in connecting the two bones together. It is a strong connective tissue. Now we have seen here one more thing, that the muscles which is attached to that of the bone, when it contract, it making the bones to it used to pull the bone, and due to which the other muscle which is attached to the same bone remain at a relaxed state. Now, to gain the original position for the bone, the other muscle which was at a relaxed state, it will contract, making the bone and the first muscle to relax or to gain its original position. Okay, so when the first contract, the other relaxes, and the other contract, the first relaxes. The same thing happened in our arm also, where the bicep contract, at that time tricep relax. When the tricep contract, the biceps used to relax. Okay, and that is why we had given the name also. One is known as flexor, another is known as a extension muscle. So this is how the movement occurred in the human being. Now we have understood that how the movement occur in a human being. Now let us try to understand that how movement occur in the other animals also. Okay. Okay, so it is because of the muscle contraction a person is able to move. What happened in the other animals like that of a cockroach is there. So how movement occur in the cockroach? We will discuss right now that how the movement occurred in the other animals also. So till now student we had discussed about the bones, about the muscle contraction. So you know that the muscle and bones both are responsible for the movement of a human being. Now let us discuss the movement in animals. Movement in animals. Okay. Movement in animal students. So likewise in human being we have seen there is a muscles which is attached to the bone and the flexor and extension muscle is there. Basically what happened when the contraction and relaxation, yes, it help in the movement, but when a person walk, when a human being walk, they used to push the ground. Okay, they used to push the ground in the backward direction. And when with our legs we used to push the ground in the backward direction, in turn the ground used to push us in the forward direction. Okay, so we can say that it is not only the muscles which is responsible for the movement, but if we want to locomote, if we want to move from one place to another, we use our legs and we used to push the ground in the forward direction, and the ground make us to move in the forward direction. In the backward direction we used to push the ground, and the ground it used to make us to move in the forward direction. So we can say that all the animals they have to push something backward so that they can move in the forward direction. So we can write it. When we push the ground in the backward with a force, with an equal force, we can say the ground pushes us to forward. Now the same thing we can say for the other animals too. That is, every animal has to push something. Every animal has to push something. Backward with its body. Backward with its body. To backward with its body parts to make them able to move in forward. Okay, so when we push the ground in the forward with the force, or forward direction in the force, in the backward direction with the force, the ground is used to push us in the forward direction. The same thing happened with every animal have to push something with his body part in the backward direction so that they can move in the forward direction. So this is the basis, you can say, by which we can say the movement occur in the animal. Now let us see that how the movement occur in different animal, like in cockroach or in birds, even in the snail also, snake also, earthworm, fishes, how they used to locomote, how they used to move. So let us start with the cockroach. So we have understood here, student, that the movement occur in all the animals. Although there is a difference in the movement of every animals. We know that if you look at the cockroaches, even the snake also, even in the fishes also. So these are the different animals which used to move in a different style. So how the movement occur in all of them, we will discuss here in the movement in animals. So here we will start with that of the cockroaches and try to understand that what kind of a skeleton does it have, what kind of a body it have, and what are the different body parts which is responsible for the movement of the cockroach. Okay, so let us start with that of cockroaches. Cockroach. So we will write each and everything in the point to understand the type of a body a cockroach have. So when we talk about the cockroach, or when you look at the cockroach, you will find that the cockroach is covered with a hard and a tough layer, tough coating you can say, or tough layer you can say, that is known as exoskeleton. Okay. So we can say that the body of cockroach is covered with a hard and tough exoskeleton. Actually, the name it has given exo. Exo means outer skeleton. Okay, the skeleton which is present outside. Okay, so we can say that the body of the cockroach is covered with the hard and tough outer skeleton, which is called as exoskeleton. Okay, so it is covered with a hard and tough outer skeleton called as exoskeleton, which is called as an exoskeleton. Now the exoskeleton, if it is an outer skeleton, so what is the role of the skeleton? It helps in providing the protection to the body. So exoskeleton is what? It is a hard and a tough coating or a outer covering is there. So ultimately it will help in providing the protection to the body of the cockroach. So we can write it. The outer skeleton or exoskeleton helps in providing protection. Now you have seen, student, you know that even our body, the skeletons are there, the skeleton is there, which the bones are there, which used to protect our internal organ. If you look at the skull help in protecting the brain. If you look at the rib cage, it help in protecting the lungs, which are the delicate internal organ. The same thing happened with that of the cockroach. The exoskeleton, which is present outside, that help in protecting the internal organ. Now, not only this, we know that even our skeleton, that is a site for the attachment of the muscles. Here also, this outer skeleton or exoskeleton not only there to help or protecting the internal organ, but it is the site for the attachment of the muscles also. Okay, so we can write it that it help in providing protection to the delicate internal organs as well as it is the site for the attachment side, for the side for the attachment of the muscles. Okay, so this is the second point, students. So here we have seen that the body of the cockroach, it is covered with the hard and the tough outer skeleton, which is also called as the exoskeleton. The meaning of the exo means outer. So either you can call outer skeleton or you can use the term that is exoskeleton. The outer skeleton, it helps in protecting the delicate internal organ, as well as it is a site for the muscle attachment. Now, the outer skeleton of a cockroach, it is made up of a different unit which join together. Okay, like you have seen, student, even in our skeleton, the bones, they attach themselves to form the skeleton. So here we can write it. The different unit or the outer skeleton or the exoskeleton is made up of a different unit which join together and which help in the movement in cockroach. Okay. So next point we can write it, that is the outer skeleton of the cockroach is the outer skeleton of the cockroach is made up of the cockroach is made of different unit, is made of different units joined together and this only help or this only allow movement. You have seen, student, even if we talk about our own skeleton, so you see that our own skeleton, it is made up of a different unit, that is bones, and the bones, when they join together at a point, that is joint, and it is the joint which provide the flexibility or which help in the movement of that particular body part. Okay, so we can write it, join together and it allows movement. Okay, this allow movement also. Now if we see the next point, students, so I'm writing the next point here itself in this line, that is that the cockroach used to the movement that is shown by the cockroach, that they used to walk on the ground as well as they can fly. Okay, so since they are having legs, so we can say they can move also on ground and as well as they can fly. So we can write it, cockroach move on ground as well as fly. The cockroach moves on ground. Cockroach moves on ground as well as it can flies. Okay, flies in air. Okay, so what kind of a movement can be shown by that of the cockroach? That it can move on the ground as well as it can fly in the air. When you look at the movement, student, you will find that the cockroach is having 6 legs. Okay, so we can write it that cockroach has 6 legs. Cockroach has 6 legs, and the muscles which is attached with it, which is attached with that of the legs, make the movement very easily. So we can say that the legs, with the help of the legs, they can move as the muscles which is attached with it will help in the movement very easily on the ground. Okay, so this is a cockroach that it can move in the ground as well as in the air. Okay.